Who knows, because they like to edit it to make it look a certain way. What's up, Bachelor Nation? My name is Yani if you're new, and welcome to another Bachelorette recap. Let's just get right into it because I feel like there's a lot to talk about. And it starts off with the guys, you know, just hanging out together. They all think that they're drama-free now that Thomas is gone. But what they do not realize is that Blake is about to come into the house and just kind of shake things up. But, you know, Blake does seem nervous, as he should be, because, I mean, it's kind of hard to walk into a situation a few weeks later than everybody. They've already built friendships with each other. They've built relationships with Katie. So, you know, I was pretty nervous for him too. Before Blake shows up, Tayshia does come in and talk to the guys, and she lets them know that there's somebody that's going to be coming in later than everybody, and somebody that she knows very well and trusts and knows that they're in there, or they're in it for the right reasons. And all the guys are already pretty pissed off and disappointed. I kind of feel like, or I do feel like Katie should have been the one to say something first, not Tayshia. I get Blake's from her season, but I feel like that's something that should have been told to them by Katie. But she lets them know, and then Blake shows up, and they already recognize him, like, right off the bat. They know who he is. Like when they do that, because I feel like a lot of the times they try to act like they don't know who that is from like previous seasons. As if it already wasn't hard enough for the guys that Blake showed up later on in the season, he ends up getting the first one-on-one date of the episode, and they did not like that at all. But he's coming in later. I feel like she needs to get to know him a little bit more. She needs to see if she really does like him and wants to keep him around. So I think it's better just to feel it out right away instead of having him stay later and then realizing that she doesn't really like him like that, or they don't connect that well. I just thought that was smart of her. So after the date card, Katie does come in and talks to the guys and just kind of wants to see how they're feeling. She already knows that they're pretty upset about Blake and the fact that he got the first date card. I love that Katie mentions that she'll know right away if she's into him, and if she's not, she's just gonna send him home, which we love to see because I hate when they just string along these people and they don't feel the same way about them. For their date, they go horseback riding, and I thought it was funny because he still ended up doing it, even though he mentioned when he was younger he used to be really scared of horses. So I thought that was really cool that he did that for her. The scenery was so beautiful. It looked like straight out of a movie, and they made out a lot, but I do see the chemistry between them, and I'm excited to see that play out throughout the rest of the season, for however long he's there. And she eventually does give him the rose. For the group date, we have everybody on there except for Andrew, who got the second one-on-one date, and of course Blake, because he got the first one. So it said "Love is a Battlefield" on the date card, and we already know it's going to be something with competition. They split the teams into two, the red team, the black team, and it's basically like basketball meets football, and it got pretty intense. Hunter was the first one to like really tackle somebody, and that's when it started getting a little more physical and a little more competitive. And I forgot to mention that the winners get to hang out with Katie at the end of the night, and the losers go home. These competitions can be very entertaining, but at the same time, they're not professional athletes, so it's just another way for them to get hurt, or for some of the guys to prove themselves. And Michael A ends up getting really hurt. Mike was the first one to get tackled by Hunter, and that was pretty rough. But Michael A injury was a lot worse. She ended up just completely stopping the competition just to check on him, and she didn't want to see anybody else get hurt. So she lets them know that they all did amazing and that she's not sending anyone home, and she wants them all to join her for the date at the end of the night. And Hunter ends up getting the rose. I don't really like Hunter. I don't know what she sees in him. He just seems kind of sneaky to me, but I don't know, I just hope that she realizes that soon because I don't really think he's a great match for her. Michael A. also opens up to the guys about his wife and how he's widowed, and they all get pretty emotional. It was actually a really beautiful moment. I actually got teary-eyed as well, but what's new? And yeah, Greg, I felt like felt it the most because he lost his dad a few years ago, so that was just a nice moment to see all of the guys there for him. And yeah, I just thought that was great that he opened up to them and he felt comfortable to do that. For Aaron's date, it was a nighttime date and they went into the forest and there was a huge tree that lit up, which was really cool. And it had envelopes hanging from them and they had personal questions that they had to answer when they picked each one. So I thought that was pretty cool and intimate. And he did open up about his family and his father. So that was like a good start to the date. Later on at dinner, they have an amazing conversation about interracial relationships and stuff that he's had to deal with in the past with the girl that he thought he was gonna marry, and just how she was worried that her kids weren't gonna look like her. It was just really sad, but it was awesome to see Katie say, I've never thought like that, and all she wants is love, and stuff like that doesn't matter to her. And he seemed really happy about that, which that shouldn't matter. And I'm glad that he found somebody like Katie. So it was so great to see them connect on a whole nother level. And she does end up giving him a rose as well. So I was happy about that because I really do like him. The next day is the rose ceremony, and at the cocktail party, Hunter ends up stealing Katie and has like a mini date planned for her, even though he already has a rose and hasn't given the other guys a chance to hang out with her. I thought that was pretty selfish. James ends up stealing her away, but Hunter does give him a hard time and says that he wants like 2 more minutes, but he couldn't focus because James was like standing 5 feet away. So he just lost his train of thought. And Katie just lets him know that there's other guys in the house that don't have a rose, so he should feel secure about that. And yeah, I just don't see her connection with James either. I'm not really sure why he's there, and Brandon, but who knows, maybe throughout the rest of the season we will see that those two connections grow. At the rose ceremony, Trey is the last one to get the rose, and the guys toast, and Hunter is speaking, but you can tell the guys are just over him, and that's where it ends. They showed previews for what's coming up next, and it looks so good. There's gonna be so much drama. Blake might not be there for marriage, which is very confusing because I thought that's what he wanted, but who knows, because they like to edit it to make it look a certain way. But I cannot wait to recap what's coming up next. But I'm going to close the video out here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye!